Hello, welcome back. In this video, we'll be taking a look at throwing exceptions and we'll be looking at the try catch statement. In one of the previous videos, when we read data from the file using the scanner class, we discovered that we had to enclose the statements that is used to create the scanner object that reads from a file inside of a try catch block. So there is something that the reading of files through that is known as exception. So the name of the file is in a specified location. That's the file is in a specified location. So if the scanner tries to read from that file and it discovers that probably maybe the file has been deleted, the file will not be found. So at that point, the program will throw an exception. So without the try catch statement, the program is going to end and there won't be any way to catch the exception and handle that exception appropriately. So in this section, we'll be writing a program and we'll also be throwing an exception depending on the user input. So we are going to be writing a program that makes use of the scanner object to ask the user for an input. If the user input an invalid value to the program, then the program will throw an exception. A little definition of an exception is: an exception is used to refer to an unexpected event or condition that occurs during the execution of a program. Just like I have stated earlier, if the file is not found in the specified location, then an exception will be thrown. It disrupts the normal flow of code, and exceptions are used to handle errors in the program. So let's get to it. This video will be defining a method. This method is going to print out the multiple of a given positive value that is being entered into the computer by the user. So at first, the scanner object is going to prompt the user to input a positive value, and when the user inputs a positive value, this value must be greater than 1. Then the method is going to accept that value and print out 5 multiples of that value. If we input a value of 2, then the method is going to print out multiples of 2. There is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, the first 5 multiples of 2. If we input a value of 5, it's going to print out 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Any value we input at all, it is going to print out the multiple. Now, if the user enters a value of 1 or a value that is less than 1, probably 0 or a negative value, then we are going to throw an exception. We are going to be doing that right now. So I'll first of all create a method. Our method is public static void print multiples. So it takes in an integer value. We have our body right here. So since we are printing just 5 multiples of value, we are going to say for int I equals to 1, I is less than 6, I plus plus. Then we can say print out value times I. Then let us add a space so that it will print the next number and include a space before it prints it. Now, before this for loop, we are going to check if the value is less than 1. If the value is less than 1, the program is going to throw an exception. So for that, we say if value is less than 1, less than or equal to 1, I want you to throw an exception. So we say throw exception. You can see we have an error now. This is because this program now chose an exception, and since it chose an exception, we are going to add something to this method signature right here, and we are going to add the statement choose exception okay, sorry, through new exception. So that's what we are going to write. Now if I remove this choose exception, you see we still have the error. You can see, so I have to impute the throw exception back. So throw new exception. New exception is an object, so if the value is less than or equal to 1, then it's going to throw an exception. Yes, if the value is not less than or equal to 1, it's going to continue with our normal flow of the program. Now inside of our main method, we are going to create our scanner object that we use to read the value from the console, from the user. Scanner equals new scanner, and we're doing system.in, and we will ask the user, please enter a positive value that is greater than 0, that is greater than 1. And I will say int value equals scanner dot next int, and we can call our method that says print multiples, then we'll pass value into it. Now you can see we have print multiple. Now we have an error right here. The reason is because this print multiple throws an exception. To fix that error, we have to include this statement inside of a try catch block. So for that, we'll say add surround with try catch, so automatically IntelliJ is going to do it for us. So you can see choose new runtime exception. So when it catches the exception that is being thrown, we can now take the exception object and print out the toString method of the exception object. We'll be looking at toString when we get to objects in the future. Now inside of this new exception, we can say value is invalid. We can change this to string to message, to get message. So I'm going to run the program. So I'll go ahead and I'll run the program right now. Run me. Okay, now it says please enter a positive value that is greater than 1. So right here I'll put a value of 4, and as you can see we have the first 5 multiple of 4 printed out. So we have 4, 8, 12 and so on and so forth. So that is how the exception, throwing exception works. So if we have a method, if we create a method and we don't want any invalid input inside of that method, we can throw an exception, and then when we want to use the method that throws that exception, we have to wrap that method in a try catch statement. So that is it on exception throwing. There is also more to exception. They have different types of exception. We have the runtime exception, we have null pointer exception, we also have array index out of bound exception. We have seen that one. We also have other exceptions. They are numerous. So exception is also a broad topic on its own. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace out.